Welcome to Everyday English Podcast, a beginner-friendly podcast for improving English skills with simple English. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic, unlocking the power of unlimited confidence.
That's right. Confidence is such an important part of our lives, isn't it? It really shapes how we see ourselves and how we interact with the world.
Exactly. Confidence can influence our choices, our relationships, and even our success in various areas. It's like a key that opens many doors.
Oh, definitely. And, many people think confidence is just something you're born with. But that's not true at all.
Right. Confidence can be built and developed over time. It's all about understanding what it is and how we can nurture it.
Absolutely. And in this episode, we're going to explore what confidence really means, its importance, and some techniques to help our listeners build it.
Yes. We'll also touch on common barriers that people face when trying to be more confident. It's going to be really insightful.
For sure. So, let's get started on this journey to unlocking unlimited confidence.
So, let's dive into what confidence really is. What would you say is the definition of confidence?
Well, confidence is often described as a belief in oneself and one's abilities. It's that inner assurance that you can handle whatever comes your way.
Right. And it's interesting because many people think confidence is just about being outgoing or extroverted. But that's not the whole picture, is it?
Exactly. A lot of folks believe that if you're shy or reserved, you can't be confident. But confidence can look different for everyone. It's more about feeling secure in your own skin.
Oh, definitely. And, there are also misconceptions that confidence is a fixed trait. Like, you either have it or you don't.
Yes. That's such a common myth. Confidence is actually something we can develop over time. It's not just given to a select few.
Exactly. So, how do you think mindset plays into building confidence?
Well, mindset is huge. If you have a growth mindset, you're more likely to see challenges as opportunities to learn. That can really boost your confidence.
Oh, I see what you mean. So, if you approach situations with a positive attitude, it can help you feel more capable.
Absolutely. And even when you face setbacks, a positive mindset helps you bounce back instead of feeling defeated.
That's such a great point. It's like, instead of thinking, I failed, you could think, what can I learn from this?
Exactly. And that shift in thinking can really transform how you view yourself and your abilities.
So, to sum it up, confidence is about believing in yourself, and it can be developed through mindset and practice.
Yes. And understanding those misconceptions helps us realize that everyone can build their confidence, no matter their starting point.
Now that we've talked about what confidence is, let's dive into some techniques for building it. What do you think about self-affirmation?
Oh, self-affirmation is such a powerful tool. It's all about saying positive things to yourself regularly, right? It can really change your mindset.
Exactly. Like, when you tell yourself, I am capable or I can handle this, it reinforces that belief. Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I have. And honestly, it feels a bit strange at first. But over time, it really helps to shift your perspective.
Right? It's like planting seeds of positivity in your mind. And what about visualization? That's another great technique.
Definitely. Visualization is about creating vivid mental images of successful outcomes. It's like rehearsing success in your mind before it happens.
Exactly. So, if you visualize yourself giving a great presentation, for example, it can actually help reduce anxiety when the moment comes.
Yes. And it's interesting how our brains can't really tell the difference between a real experience and one we vividly imagine. That's powerful.
It really is. And then there's mindfulness meditation. Being present without judgment can help us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings.
Oh, absolutely. Mindfulness helps you to observe your thoughts instead of getting caught up in them. It's like creating space between you and your worries.
Exactly. And that space can really help you respond to situations with more confidence. Have you practiced mindfulness meditation?
I have. It took some time to get used to it, but it's so calming. It helps clear the mind and makes it easier to focus on the positive.
That's great to hear. And then we have goal setting. Setting small, achievable goals can really show you your progress.
Yes. It's like building blocks for your confidence. When you achieve small goals, it boosts your belief in yourself.
Exactly. And those small wins can really add up. It makes you feel like, hey, I can do this.
For sure. And celebrating those small victories is important too. It reinforces that positive mindset.
Absolutely. So, to recap, we've talked about self-affirmation, visualization, mindfulness meditation, and goal setting as key techniques for building confidence.
Right. Each of these techniques can help us cultivate a stronger sense of self-belief. It's all about finding what works best for you.
Now that we've discussed some techniques for building confidence, let's dive into overcoming common barriers. One major barrier is the fear of failure. What do you think drives that fear?
Oh, fear of failure can be really powerful. I think it often comes from a desire to avoid disappointment, both from ourselves and others. It's like, we set high expectations and then worry about not meeting them.
Yeah, and that fear can really hold people back. It makes them hesitant to try new things. Have you noticed how it can create a cycle of avoidance?
Absolutely. When we avoid situations because we're scared of failing, we miss out on opportunities to grow. It's a tricky cycle. The more we avoid, the more we reinforce that fear.
Exactly. And then there's perfectionism, which can be another barrier. People often feel they need to be perfect before they can feel confident.
Right. Perfectionism can lead to a lack of confidence because it sets such an impossible standard. When we think we have to be perfect, we might not even try.
That's so true. It's like, if we can't do it perfectly, we might as well not do it at all. Have you seen that in your coaching?
Definitely. Many clients get stuck because they fear making mistakes. I always tell them that mistakes are part of the learning process.
Oh, I love that. It's so important to embrace imperfection. Speaking of challenges, public speaking is a huge fear for many people. What tips do you have for overcoming that?
Well, one effective tip is to practice in front of a mirror or with friends. It helps to get comfortable with your material and your delivery.
Yeah, and visualization can help too, right? Imagining yourself speaking confidently can really ease anxiety.
Exactly. And focusing on the message rather than how you're being perceived can shift your mindset. It's about sharing something valuable.
That's a great point. Shifting focus can really help. Now, let's talk about negative self-talk. It's such a common barrier. How can people identify and change those patterns?
Oh, recognizing negative self-talk is the first step. People often don't realize how critical they are of themselves. Keeping a journal can help track those thoughts.
That's a good idea. Writing it down makes it easier to see those patterns. Once they identify them, what can they do next?
They can challenge those thoughts. For example, if someone thinks, I can't do this, they should ask themselves, is that really true, or what evidence do I have for that?
Right. It's about reframing those thoughts into something more positive, like, I can learn how to do this. It's such a powerful shift.
Absolutely. And practicing self-compassion is key. We need to treat ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend.
That's so important. So, to wrap up, overcoming barriers like fear of failure, perfectionism, public speaking, and negative self-talk can really help build confidence.
Exactly. And it's all about taking small steps and being patient with ourselves along the way.
Let's talk about the role of positive reinforcement in building confidence. It's really fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely. Positive reinforcement can be a game changer. It's important to understand how praise can really boost someone's self-esteem.
Right. I mean, think about it. Praise can motivate us to keep going, while criticism can often have the opposite effect.
Exactly. When we receive positive feedback, it reinforces our belief in ourselves. But criticism can lead to self-doubt, which is so counterproductive.
Yeah, and it's not just about big achievements. Celebrating small wins is just as crucial. Have you noticed that?
Oh, for sure. Even small achievements deserve recognition. It's like, every little step counts towards building that confidence.
Totally. And I think sometimes people overlook their progress. They might think, oh, it's just a small thing. But those small things really add up.
Absolutely. It's important to acknowledge those moments. Maybe even keeping a journal to track them could help.
That's a great idea. Writing down achievements, no matter how small, can really help you see how far you've come.
And it also creates a positive feedback loop. The more you recognize your progress, the more motivated you become to keep pushing forward.
Exactly. And what about encouraging others? Supporting friends or family in their confidence-building journey can be so impactful.
Yes. When we encourage others, it not only helps them but also reinforces our own positive mindset. It's like a win-win situation.
Oh, definitely. Just a simple word of encouragement can make a huge difference. Have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely. I remember when a friend praised me for a small accomplishment. It felt amazing and really motivated me to keep going.
That's so powerful. And it's something we can all do. Just being aware of how our words can uplift others is so important.
For sure. It's about creating a supportive environment. When we lift each other up, we all grow together.
Right. So, to wrap it up, positive reinforcement through praise, celebrating small wins, and encouraging others are key components in building confidence.
Exactly. Let's all make an effort to recognize our progress and support those around us. It can really change lives.
Let's talk about real-life examples and case studies. Personal stories can really illustrate how building confidence can change lives, don't you think?
Absolutely. Personal stories make it relatable. For instance, I remember when I first started coaching. I was so nervous about speaking in front of groups.
Oh, I can imagine. What helped you overcome that?
Well, I started sharing my experiences with others. When I opened up about my fears, it made me feel more connected and less alone. It was like a confidence booster.
That's such a great approach. Sharing vulnerability can really resonate with people. Have you seen that in your clients as well?
Definitely. When clients share their fears, they often find that others feel the same way. It's empowering to realize you're not the only one.
Exactly. And I think it's important to highlight expert insights too. For example, motivational psychologists often talk about the power of self-efficacy.
Right. Self-efficacy is about believing in your ability to succeed. It's fascinating how that belief can impact performance.
Yeah. I've read about studies where people who have high self-efficacy tend to take on challenges more readily. It's like they see obstacles as opportunities.
Exactly. And that mindset shift is crucial. It's not just about talent, it's about believing you can improve through effort.
Speaking of improvement, have you heard about high-profile individuals who built their confidence over time?
Oh, for sure. Take someone like Oprah Winfrey. She faced a lot of adversity early in her life, but she built her confidence and became a powerful figure.
Right. Oprah often talks about how she had to overcome her insecurities to find her voice. It's inspiring.
Absolutely. And then there's J.K. Rowling. She faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter became a success. Her persistence is a testament to building confidence.
Exactly. Rowling's story shows that even the most successful people have faced doubt. It's about pushing through that fear.
And that's a key takeaway for our listeners. Confidence isn't about never feeling scared, it's about taking action despite that fear.
Yes. And sharing these stories can really motivate others to take those first steps. It's all about believing in the journey.
For sure. So, to wrap this up, personal stories, expert insights, and examples of high-profile individuals all highlight the importance of building confidence.
Exactly. Each of these elements can inspire our listeners to embrace their own confidence-building journey.
And remember, it's a process. Everyone has their own path to confidence.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about practical exercises for our listeners. What do you think about setting up a daily routine to practice confidence-building techniques?
Oh, I think that's a fantastic idea. Having a routine can really help reinforce those techniques. It makes it easier to incorporate them into daily life.
Exactly. So, what kind of daily practices do you think would be effective?
Well, starting with just a few minutes of self-affirmation each morning could be powerful. You know, saying positive things to yourself sets a great tone for the day.
Yeah, and maybe adding a visualization exercise too? Like, picturing yourself succeeding in something you're working on.
Definitely. And it doesn't have to be long. Just a few minutes of focused visualization can really make a difference.
Right. Another idea could be to set small, achievable goals for the day. It could be something as simple as speaking up in a meeting or trying a new activity.
Oh, I love that. Those small wins can really boost confidence. Plus, it helps to track your progress over time.
Exactly. And speaking of tracking, how about encouraging our listeners to share their experiences on social media?
Yes. That could create a sense of community. Using a hashtag like #UnlockUnlimitedConfidence would help everyone connect and share their journeys.
That's a great point. It can be so motivating to see how others are building their confidence too.
Absolutely. And it also holds you accountable. When you share your goals, you're more likely to stick to them.
So, to sum it up, we're suggesting a daily routine that includes self-affirmations, visualization, and setting small goals. Plus, sharing experiences with the hashtag.
Exactly. It's all about taking those small steps consistently. Our listeners can really make progress this way.
I can't wait to hear about their experiences. It's going to be inspiring.
For sure. Let's encourage everyone to start this challenge and see how it transforms their confidence.
As we wrap up today's episode, I just want to reflect on everything we've discussed about building confidence.
Absolutely. It's been such an insightful conversation. I think the key takeaway is that confidence is a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. It's all about those small steps we take every day. I really encourage our listeners to commit to their own confidence-building journey.
Yes. Remember, it's okay to start small. Even just a few minutes of self-affirmation or visualization each day can make a big difference.
And celebrating those small wins along the way is so important. It helps reinforce the progress you're making.
Definitely. And I'd love to hear from our listeners about their experiences. What techniques are you trying? What's working for you?
That's a great point. We want to create a community where everyone can share their journeys and support each other.
For sure. So, if you have feedback or suggestions for future episodes, please reach out to us. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yes. Your input is invaluable. It helps us create content that truly resonates with you.
And remember, building confidence takes time. Be patient and kind to yourself throughout the process.
Exactly. So let's all commit to this journey together. We can do this.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today. We can't wait to hear your stories and see your progress.
As we wrap up this episode, I just want to say a big thank you to all our listeners for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. Your support means everything to us. We hope you found the insights and tips helpful for building your confidence.
Absolutely. And remember, confidence is a journey. Each step you take is important, no matter how small.
Right. And speaking of journeys, we're excited to share that in our next episode, we'll be diving into the theme of overcoming self-doubt. It's going to be really impactful.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Self-doubt can really hold people back, so it's great we're addressing it. It'll be full of practical strategies.
Exactly. And we want to hear from you too. If you have any stories or tips about overcoming self-doubt, please share them with us.
Yes. You can reach out to us on our social media platforms or through our website. We love connecting with you.
And don't forget to sign up for updates so you never miss an episode. We've got so much more in store.
That's right. Thank you again for listening, and remember, you're not alone on this journey to building confidence.
We're all in this together. See you next time.
Today, let's dive into how we can challenge our beliefs to unlock our true potential. It's such an important topic, don't you think?
Absolutely. Challenging our beliefs is the first step towards personal growth. Many of us hold on to limiting beliefs that can really hold us back.
Right. It's like we have these invisible barriers that stop us from reaching our full potential. What do you think are some common beliefs people struggle with?
Well, one big one is the idea that we're not good enough. This can affect everything from our careers to our relationships.
Yeah, that not good enough feeling can be so paralyzing. It makes people hesitant to take risks or try new things.
Exactly. But when we challenge that belief, we start to see that we are capable of so much more than we think.
So true. And self-care plays a huge role in this process too. Taking care of ourselves helps build that confidence.
Definitely. Self-care isn't just about pampering ourselves, it's about nurturing our mental and emotional well-being.
Right. Simple practices like journaling, meditation, or even just taking a walk can really help us reconnect with ourselves.
And those moments of self-reflection can help us identify those limiting beliefs. It's like shining a light on the shadows.
Exactly. Once we recognize those beliefs, we can start to reframe them. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we can say, I can learn how to do this.
Oh, I love that. It's all about shifting our mindset. And that shift can lead to incredible changes in our lives.
Speaking of changes, how do you think this applies to areas like public speaking or professional development?
Well, many people fear public speaking because they believe they won't be good at it. But with practice and a positive mindset, they can improve.
Right. And it's about taking those small steps. Maybe starting with speaking in front of a friend or a small group.
Exactly. Each little experience builds confidence. And soon, those small steps lead to bigger opportunities.
And what about relationships? How can challenging beliefs help there?
Great question. People often believe they don't deserve love or that they'll be rejected. Challenging those beliefs can open them up to healthier connections.
That's so important. It's about recognizing our worth and being open to receiving love and support.
Absolutely. And when we practice self-care, we reinforce that sense of worthiness. It's a beautiful cycle.
So, to wrap up, challenging our beliefs, practicing self-care, and taking small steps can really help us unlock our true potential.
Yes. And for our listeners, remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. Every step counts.
Exactly. Let's encourage everyone to start this journey of self-discovery and confidence building.
And don't forget to share your experiences with us. We'd love to hear how you're unlocking your potential. Sure. Let's create a conversation based on the themes of mental health, motivation, and self-improvement, focusing on practical advice and personal experiences.
Today, let's talk about the importance of self-care in our daily lives. It's such a vital topic, don't you think?
Absolutely. Self-care is often overlooked, but it can make a huge difference in our mental health.
Right. When we take care of ourselves, we're better equipped to handle stress and challenges.
Exactly. It's like filling up your gas tank before a long drive. You need that fuel to keep going.
That's a great analogy. So, what are some simple self-care practices that people can start with?
Well, one easy practice is setting aside time each day for something you enjoy. It could be reading, drawing, or even just taking a walk.
Oh, I love that. Making time for hobbies really helps us recharge. What about mindfulness? How does that fit into self-care?
Mindfulness is fantastic. It helps us stay present and reduces anxiety. Just a few minutes of deep breathing can really calm the mind.
Definitely. And it's so simple to do anywhere. You can practice it while waiting in line or even during a break at work.
Exactly. And speaking of breaks, taking regular breaks throughout the day is another important self-care tip.
Yes. It's easy to get caught up in work and forget to step away. Those breaks can boost our productivity too.
For sure. And what about connecting with others? Social support is a big part of self-care.
Oh, absolutely. Talking to friends or family can provide comfort and perspective. It's nice to know we're not alone.
Exactly. Sharing our feelings can lighten the load. Have you found any specific ways to connect with others?
I've started scheduling regular catch-ups with friends, even if it's just a quick phone call. It really helps.
That's a great idea. Consistency is key. And what about journaling? It can be a wonderful tool for self-reflection.
Yes. Writing down thoughts and feelings can help clarify them. It's like having a conversation with yourself.
Exactly. Plus, it can be a great way to track your progress over time. You can see how far you've come.
So true. And I think it's important to celebrate those small wins too. It reinforces positive feelings.
Absolutely. Acknowledging even the little things can boost our confidence and motivation.
Speaking of motivation, how do you stay motivated in your self-care routine?
For me, I set reminders on my phone. It helps me stay accountable. Plus, I try to make it fun.
That's a smart approach. Making it enjoyable can really help keep you engaged.
Yes. And sometimes, I involve friends in my self-care activities. It makes it more social and fun.
That's a great idea. It's like a win-win situation. You get to take care of yourself and spend time with loved ones.
Exactly. So, to wrap up, self-care is essential for our mental health. Simple practices like mindfulness, connecting with others, and celebrating small wins can really help.
Yes. And remember, self-care looks different for everyone. It's all about finding what works best for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found these tips helpful.
Yes, thank you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.